Media lies and politicians spin. When the network is failing, truth is the first casualty. Welcome to the Network Failure Podcast.
What is going on, people? Welcome to the Network Failure Podcast, episode 85. I'm your host, Mr. Meoff. It is Thursday, July 16th. The world is literally on, Canada is literally on fire. And we got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. And we've got some new subscribers out there, some new viewers and listeners, so welcome. Thank you so much for dropping by and listening and offering your support. I need it, as you can see, and it's greatly appreciated. Keep coming back, all right? Okay. Well, like I said, we have a very, very typical episode, honestly. Very typical bullshit, the politics and everything like that. And I'm looking to steer the show a little more into the stuff that we were talking about on the last episode, I think. A little less of the politics. I don't know. We're going to figure it out, all right? Just letting you know. We might be having a little shift here, and I think it'll be for the better. So, like I was saying, we have got a lot to talk about. What we got going on. Let's see. Let me run through this real quick, all right? Some good news. Lindsey Graham is dead, and you know what? I'm happy to say it. And normally I don't say that about somebody that's passed away, but we lost a demon of a person, or person of a demon, whatever you want to say. But he will not be missed on my end. Got more updates. Yeah, we're back to war with Iran. Full scale pretty much. Just strike after strike. I think we're up to 5 strikes, so that's nice. The merger between our military and Israel is still trying to push that forward. So that's some fun, right? Got some scary stuff on Smart Dust. A couple things with Trump betraying us. And some flock information, right? So we don't go flock ourselves. All that and more and more and more on this episode of the Network Failure Podcast. Okay, well, before we get started, as usual, I got to thank God that I'm here to speak these words to you guys, because without the Lord, I would not be here. I cannot say that. I cannot say that enough. All right. Those of you that know me, probably you recognize. And I want to thank all of the listeners out there, you hardcore listeners that have been here from the start, and you brand new guys and gals. Thank you so much for stopping by, listening or viewing on YouTube. And yeah, that's it. So after we're done with that, and yeah, don't feel free to rate the show. 5 stars if you think I deserve it, but whatever you feel necessary. There's all sorts of ways you could rate on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. But we are going to get this thing rocking and rolling. So that's there. Okay. You guys see that? Everything looking good? Nice? Sweet. I was blending in with the background before. I was sinking into the city because it's all green screen. It was driving me nuts. So I have to wear a sweatshirt in my hot room. You're welcome. You're welcome, because I love you. That's why. That's why. All right. We're not going to look at that right now. That's flock. That's flock. Get the flock out of here. Okay, from MJ Truth Ultra over on the TwiX. Did Senator Lindsey Graham finally get a taste of war that he so easily sent our sons and daughters into? Just yesterday, Lindsey Graham toured Ukrainian drone factory Skyfall in Kiev, just as Russia launched strikes against 2 drone manufacturing sites in the region. Tricky, right? Senator Lindsey Graham traveled to Ukraine, met with President Zelensky, and toured the Skyfall drone production facility near Kiev. Graham publicly praised the site as one of the most advanced in the world and called for stronger U.S.-Ukraine cooperation on drone technology. Over the night into July 11th, supposedly as he was leaving, Russia launched major missile and drone attacks on the Kiev region. The Russian Ministry of Defense confirmed strikes on 2 large drone manufacturing facilities in Kiev region, plus an oil depot in nearby Pereyaslav. While Russia confirmed hits on drone factories, it remains unconfirmed right now whether the exact Skyfall facility Graham visited was one of the targets struck. It was reported that Lindsey Graham was leaving Ukraine around the same exact time of the strikes. Now, was Lindsey hit with the strike? And they do not want to say that Lindsey Graham was taken out by a Russian strike. Okay? That's possible. It was reported Lindsey Graham, we did that. Overnight, it was announced Lindsey Graham had passed from a brief and sudden illness, which they're deeming, I believe, a heart attack. But we've got a little bit more because it's interesting. Here's Lindsey Graham and his wishes for America. Probably talking about something else, but check out Lindsey Graham on Fox News.
Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. They're the best ally we could hope for. So we have a commander-in-chief in President Trump who
So we should forget it. He's with Israel.
think is Ronald Reagan plus. Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. They're the best ally we could hope for. So we have a commander-in-chief in President Trump who I think is Ronald Reagan plus.
The man was a psychopath. Damon was a psychopath. All right. We got to win there, people. We got to win. Per Fox News, another one from MJ Truth Ultra. DC medical examiner says Senator Lindsey Graham suffered an aortic dissection due to arteriosclerosis, cardiovascular disease. I know I pronounced it wrong. I'm not going back. Sorry. In layman's terms, it means years of fatty plaque buildup, hardening of the arteries, weakens the wall of the body's main artery, the aorta, causing it to tear, so blood splits the layers apart and can block blood flow to vital organs or cause it to burst. And the FBI is now assisting local authorities in investigating. Now, why is the FBI investigating a simple heart attack of an old man? Right? Relatively not in shape. He's pretty fluffy, pudgy, whatever you want to call it, right? Why would the FBI be investigating that? But there's a couple theories. Larry Johnson has a theory. He's going to break it down. This is from Suleiman Ahmed. Let's check out what Larry Johnson said.
Get through on the timeline. If everything's normal, he arrives normally in Kyiv because that's how they do it. They, in fact, the United States pre-coordinates with Russia so they don't attack the trains. And Russia in the past has not attacked those trains. So he arrives in Kyiv. He meets with Zelensky. At some point, there's video footage of him going through this drone factory, and he's holding up one of the drones, smiling, because it's sort of shaped like a dildo. So that he may have had some other thoughts going through his mind with respect to the drone. Caught a hot missile up the tailpipe, huh?
Missile up the tailpipe.
So
Larry Johnson dropping jokes.
But then you think it's a weekend. There's no urgency to return to Washington. But let's say for whatever reason it was urgent, so that you had to get back. Unless you're being medically evacuated, they're not going to bring in a military aircraft to haul you out of there on a normal visit. And so it was either he went the normal route on the train back to Poland, which is at least a 10-hour ride, maybe a little longer. Then you catch a plane, and the plane coming back to the United States is at least 10 hours. Bigger headwinds could make it 11. So that's the normal route. And I'm saying if he just did a normal, this quick in and out, he still got home after the time that he supposedly died at home. So it's sort of tough to die at home when you're not at home. So we're not sure what happened. All I can tell you is the story that's been put out by the U.S. government is a lie. That much we know.
I know you don't like speculating, but what could be the possible situation? You mentioned one possibility is the drone factory was struck. What could be the other possibilities?
Well, maybe he did suffer a medical emergency. Maybe he did have a heart attack. That's possible.
But in Ukraine.
In Ukraine, maybe he got poisoned.
Maybe he got poisoned. Yeah, there's a lot of theories running around out there. Lots of theories. Let's take a listen to this. This is a weird one. President Trump said that what makes Lindsey Graham's death even stranger is he got a call sometime last night sometime, and Graham said that they were all set for the Save America Act, where it would require ID to vote in your country or the country that you're in. Take a listen to this from Toria Brooke over on Instagram.
President Trump, thank you for joining us, and my condolences to you.
Well, thank you. He's a tough one to lose. He was great. He was unique in every way.
Like he lost a child. It was Lindsey Graham, somebody that talked shit about him forever before he started riding his,
He was, Mr. President, and I know that we are all just absorbing this news. We are all in shock. Can you tell us, Mr. President, how you received this news and your immediate gut reaction when you heard it?
So what makes it even stranger is that I got a call last night sometime at, the early evening, maybe in the 7s, and he called and he said, we're all set for the Save America Act. He was pushing the Save America Act like crazy. He got back, said he just landed from Ukraine. I said, that's a long trip to make. He said, he sounded a little tired, but perfect, but a little bit tired. I had a right to be. And he was a worker. He was really a worker. But he sounded great, actually. But
President Trump, thank you for joining.
He actually said he was tired. But he wanted to pass the Save America Act. And I said, well, we're going to get it done, Lindsey. We're going to get it done. I'll see you soon. We thought maybe we might even meet today. And then that was it. And that was, very around the time. It couldn't have been much longer. It could have been his last call. I don't know exactly. But I got a message about 1 o'clock in the morning from one of the people at his office that he had passed away. I said, I just can't believe it. He was like a member of the family to me. It's very tough, actually.
Oh, shut up.
It's amazing.
Come on.
Mr.
A
President.
member of the family. Come on. All right, that's enough of that. I can't do it anymore. All right, from Bill Malugin, an initial examination of the D.C. Medical Examiner's Office has determined that Senator Lindsey Graham died as a result of aortic dissection. Yeah, we already went over that. Death certificate will be pending until all the toxicological and microscopic testing are finalized. And at that point, the death certificate will be updated to reflect the cause of death and appropriately classify the manner of death. Very mysterious, but there's other theories, okay? Now, what is this guy? Alexander Dugan, I think. He goes on to say that it was possibly Israel, and they were kind of saying hey, you better go back to Iran with some full-scale war, or else you're going to go the way of the Lindsey bird. You know what I mean? But that's just a theory. Let's see what this guy says. Get his name. It's Candle Trades 26 over on Instagram. I think his first name's Dominic.
Russian intelligence just exposed the real reason why Lindsey Graham is dead. Look, Russian intelligence, Alex Dugan, the sudden death of Lindsey Graham can be the black mark sent to Trump. I doubt it were Iranians. Most realistic, it was a Mossad job in order to push Trump to renew a full-scale war with Iran. It clearly means You are the next. Lindsey Graham was the shadow of Trump, his black self. Remember, the plan is to have Trump win the midterms, stay in office, and send ground troops to Iran. And they're going to use Lindsey Graham's death to get it done. So if you want...
Pretty interesting. Candle Trades 26 over on Instagram. All right. Well, Lindsey's not the only one that went. Mitch McConnell went too, or he's been gone. I don't care what anybody says, but little Mitchie is not the guy in, this picture is AI. They've already looked at the newspaper, supposedly has like weird AI. It's all garbage, but we'll get into it. From Sheila C over on the TwiX, they really believe that people are stupid enough to believe everything they read or hear. Why? Why, Sheila? Well, if you take a look at this, guys, I'm going to make this full screen if I can. Take a look at that. All right? Does that look like the same picture? Yes, except for the arm right here and everything, but they just took a little picture of Lindsey Graham while he was on vacation and said put him in a hospital bed. Allegedly. But I think it looks photoshopped, in my opinion. You guys let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments, all right? Guys out there on YouTube and Spotify, let me know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're talking about. Got to engage, you know what I'm saying? We have to engage. All right, enough of me. From Lazy, that's Lazz with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ys. Okay? 5. She says Mitch McConnell is dead, and the proof of life photo was a rushed rough draft. The newspaper is AI and doesn't exist. He's wearing jeans in a hospital bed. I didn't notice that. That's true. And his hand is operating a computer mouse. Elaine Chao has escaped to China, but she's now back and she's implicated in the cover-up. These are giant piles of crimes for everyone involved, which now includes Vance Chao. I love this for them. None of the detective work is mine. He died in June. June? Yeah, actually, yeah. His last little short circuit, I think that's when he went. All right, next up from the Patriotic Blonde. Russia and China have announced they will sign a defense pact with Iran in an alliance to protect themselves against the U.S. and Israel. Welcome to World War III. Yep, that's about it. Now, we've been in World War III for a long, long time. But that's not good news. That is not fun. Here's some more news that's not fun. President Trump has ordered the military to bomb them at levels never seen before if Iran assassinates him. From Ethan Levins. Trump orders massive bombings of Iran if he's assassinated. Trump told his generals just literally bomb them at levels that they've never seen before. Israel recently informed Trump of an upcoming Iranian attack. Yeah, they've constantly, remember, they were behind the Butler thing, that they just decided that they don't want to investigate anymore, right? He dropped it. Bunch of BS. From Q the Storm Rider, this is going to get interested. I think this is some Q stuff. Deep state desperation exposed. They try to kill President Trump mid-flight. On July 9th, 2026, as Trump departed Turkey aboard a brand new Qatari-donated Boeing 747-8, his future Air Force One, the deep state launched a cowardly cyber strike from Langley, Virginia. They targeted the plane's electronic controls in a blatant assassination attempt. But Trump, always 10 steps ahead, switched to the older Air Force One at the last second. What the fake news called a routine security precaution was actually a brilliant trap. Well, I don't know. We don't know exactly what happened, but this guy seems to think that Trump was on to what they were trying to do. It was an assassination attempt. Like, I'm sure it probably wasn't the best idea to use the gift plane in that circumstance, but he wasn't 10 steps ahead of anything. This guy's not 10 steps ahead of, well, maybe the rises and dips of oil. He's 10 steps ahead of that. But they failed again. Trump just exposed the entire rat's nest. The storm is here and justice is coming. All right. And from Douglas McGregor, U.S. begins strikes on Iran's infrastructure. See, my mouth doesn't even know how to say it now. It's just coming out like a weird word. From Eric Doherty, President Trump announced the U.S. military will be destroying essentially all power plants and bridges in Iran. Isn't that a war crime? Let's check out what he's got to say.
I'll save the energy targets for last, but ultimately we'll hit energy targets, yeah. But we're going to hit them very hard tonight. We're going to hit them very hard tomorrow night. We're going to hit them very hard the night after. And then next week it gets really bad for them because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges. We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
Do you believe the Iranians are serious about making locations?
Not good, right? Not good. Openly saying and pretty much bragging that he's, going to pull off some war crimes. That's not good. But this is all part of his little plan, right? All part of it. Did you see the stock market? See how everything dipped? Everything's crashing and burning. Not financial advice, but when there's blood in the water, that's time to yuppers. From another one from Colonel Douglas McGregor, multiple unconfirmed reports of 2 major U.S. strikes on IRGC headquarters in Tehran and an underground missile base, with allegations IRGC chief Ahmed Wahidi has been eliminated. And that is confirmed. This general or chief was eliminated. Where is it? Yup. From Homeland Security News, dead IRGC Supreme Commanding General Ahmed Wahidi, who took command after several of his fellow generals were killed at the start of the war, was killed in a U.S. airstrikes in Tehran. Or death. And he's just going to be replaced with another general or chief or whatever it is. From Ethan Levins, the U.S. has imposed a 10% toll in the Strait of Hormuz. The United States imposed a toll in the Strait of Hormuz while also claiming everything in Iran belongs to America. Trump previously claimed Iran was holding the world hostage by considering to impose a toll. But America is simply doing it for safety. Well, don't you know it's rules for thee, not for me. Trump said everything Iran's producing should be owned by American companies. This is getting nice, right? Fun. And if you like, join his Telegram. Yeah, and I don't know if this was a slip, but it sounded like Trump said that they hit Iran with a nuclear weapon. Listen to this. Where was this? From Salem News Channel? Is this for real? I don't know. Let's listen to it anyway. Now that I looked at the news channel, I don't know if it's...
Good job. If I wasn't around, or... A good job. If I wasn't around, or if Bibi wasn't around, especially the combination, Israel would not exist today. We wouldn't have hit them with the B-2 bombers. You know, they were going to have a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. Had I not hit them with a nuclear, within 2 to 4 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. And once they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it, and you wouldn't even have Israel around. No, Bibi's good.
Is there anyone in...
Yeah, no. He was talking about the initial Midnight Hammer, and that was just a song. I mean, that's what I think. I don't think we've been bombarding them pretty hard, though. I've seen some of the pictures are pretty nasty. Trump just posted that oil is flowing thanks to U.S. military power. From Mario Norfall. Oil is flowing like never before thanks to the awesome power of the United States military. A special salute to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane, and Commander of the United States, blah, 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 blah. Because of them and all the members of the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far, the Strait of Hormuz is open to all ship traffic except for Iran. And that is because of their lying, violent, malicious leadership, which is taking them down the path of total destruction. We will therefore have a full blockade, but only on ships coming to and from Iranian ports or carrying anything have to do with Iranian cargo. Basically, a highly productive conversation with Middle East leadership. Based on highly productive conversations with Middle East leadership, I have decided to replace the 20% United States reimbursement fee with trade and investment deals that the various Gulf states will be making into the United States. Those investments will be massive, but at the same time, extraordinarily good for them and their future. As everyone is aware, we have the largest dollar investment into the United States of any country in history. Yeah, you're trying to save it or crash it. I don't know. What are you doing, you strange person? But the new investments will make that number even larger, and we will see factories, plants, and equipment pour into the United States at historic levels, which will create additional millions of high-paying American jobs. So he's delusional, obviously. Winning again like never before. The days of Iran killing hundreds of thousands of people, including 52,000, now it's 52,000 protesters. We're all the way up at 52,000 now. The number just keeps changing. Are over, and most importantly, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Thanks for your attention. Sorry I had to read the whole thing, but it was just, you know, with him, you got to see where he's going sometimes. And obviously, he's lying to everybody still. And it's pretty probably the opposite. Dead stop. Nothing is flowing. Look at Kalshi. Look at Polymarket. Look at how many ships are going to cross through the strait on any given day. They're placing bets on it. And the odds aren't great. They're not great. Let's check this out. Iran is threatening President Trump that they will halt energy exports in Middle East if 47 continues blockading them. Listen to Fox News. See what they say. Be careful, it's a forked tongue.
At Iranian ports. All the dialogue from Iran is defiant.
They continue this language, but have they reached their goals on the ground? The people who wanted to run Iran into pieces, what have they reached? We respond in action and protect what we believe in every inch of our soul. The language they are using is worthy of themselves, not us.
Iran has been firing at its neighbors. Remarkable video of a Shahed drone crashing down in Kuwait. Kuwait says the drone damaged a warehouse as well as civilian and critical facilities. Here in Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced plans to travel to the United States for the funeral of Senator Lindsey Graham. He does want to meet with President Trump while he's in the States, but his office says nothing is locked in at this point. Harris.
Why not be at the funeral of his finest butt buddy, right? To be a fly on the wall. I know that's disgusting, but they must really humiliate each other. Like Bibi, what he does to the two of those
That was
guys?
posted on 4chan.
Unreal. Sorry, I jumped the gun there, people. All right, next up, we've got an interesting one. The World War III Project Blue-Green script was posted on 4chan in June of 2025. And so far, it's 100% accurate up until this point, all right? Let's take a listen to this this guy. I'll tell you the account when it comes up.
There is a world script that was posted on
over on Instagram.
There is a world script that was posted on 4chan that has 100% accuracy to this exact moment. I'm going to put it on the screen and read off what has happened so far. It's all in chronological order. Israel breaks ceasefire and strikes Iran. Trump responds with B-2 bunker busters on nuclear sites. Iran hits all Gulf oil fields and U.S. bases. Blocks Hormuz. Oil prices skyrocket. blackouts in Africa and third world countries. U.S. sends 3 aircraft carriers. So what is next on this list is that 2 American aircraft carriers will be sunk by Iran, Russia, and China. Quick break on rain bet. So if you see that happen, I can almost guarantee that the rest of this script will play out. Now I'm going to skip over some of the middle parts and get right to the part where it mentions Turkey leaving NATO and joining the Russia-China-Iran alliance. Why I'm bringing this up is because Turkey's president, Erdogan, has condemned Israel's actions as genocide and has warned against Israeli military strikes in Lebanon and Syria. Erdogan has even referred to Hamas as a liberation movement, while most of NATO leadership recognizes them as terrorists. So the fallout between Israel and Turkey looks like it's coming to fruition. Let's jump to the part where it says
Turkey is next. They've already been stating that Turkey's next.
50 to 150 nukes will be used in high atmosphere. This is called a high altitude electromagnetic pulse known as HEMP. Its intense gamma radiation collides with air molecules in the denser layers of the atmosphere below. This collision knocks electrons free in a phenomenon known as the Compton effect. So when nukes are detonated in space, the main objective is to trigger an electromagnetic pulse, what you would call an EMP, to instantly cripple an enemy's electronic infrastructure without causing immediate blast casualties or radioactive fallout on the ground. A single high altitude detonation can generate an EMP covering an entire continent. This makes it a strictly electronic and strategic weapon rather than a physically destructive one. So you would say goodbye to electric grids, telecommunications, and civilian electronics.
Not good.
Then after 3 weeks of nuclear events, they stage a fake alien invasion, Project Bluebeam. It says by 2027, the one world government will be ushered in after 5 billion people are perished. It claims FEMA camps will classify people as useful or undesirables, and it does look like FEMA camps are being set up in preparation. So with all this being said, relax unless you see 2 of America's aircraft carriers destroyed. That's when we really need to start taking this seriously, because everything up to that point has already happened.
That's pretty crazy that everything up to that point has already happened. That's pretty wild. I'm just going to say that that was dropped in 2025. June 2025, and pretty crazy. But on that topic of Project Bluebeam, something was sent in to me from one of the listeners, Working Class Zero. Shout out to Working Class Zero over on Instagram. Sent something in to me, right? And it immediately was taken down. But the subject was Project Bluebeam. And the way they're trying to disclose and get everybody to, fall into this UFO disclosure trap and kind of, I don't know, like buy into like that we're going to be invaded and so they could use that. They kind of know that nobody's going to fall for it. But what they possibly may fall for, which was interesting, is AI, an out of control AI taking over the world and attacking in place of Project Bluebeam. So, just putting it out there, maybe you won't buy into the aliens, but maybe they might not try the aliens. They might try it with the AI. And that's what everybody's thinking, is that AI is going to destroy the universe, right? Or the world, whatever. Probably the universe. But anyway, we will move along here. I thought that was pretty interesting. Check this out. This is a leaked speech from Benji Netanyahu to, I think, the United Nations. Look how he talks about us.
If Trump ran for president, I'd make sure every fucking thing he does would benefit the state of Israel. And if not, then he can say goodbye to the trust fund accounts and low gas prices for Americans.
Interesting, right? And what do we kiss him goodbye right now? Gas prices, low gas prices. They're saying bye-bye. Right in time for winter to start rolling through. Oh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough one. They want us dead. I don't know if I mentioned that today, but yup. These motherfuckers want us dead. Sorry for the language. From Ethan Levins, the IDF has detained American Congressman Ro Khanna during a visit to the West Bank. Well, bye. See you later. You know what they do in IDF prisons, right, Ro? Goodbye to your secret place. Sorry. The IDF detained Representative Ro Khanna and held him at gunpoint. Khanna was visiting the West Bank and was blocked by the IDF. He was then detained for unknown reasons. Khanna has supported legislation to unveil the Epstein files. Why am I talking so badly today? I don't know. But yeah, they don't like Ro Khanna. They don't like him because he teamed up with Tom Massey to release the Epstein files. So why not take the opportunity to detain the man and possibly, you know what they do in those prisons. Okay. From Jackson Hinkle, Iran has formally demanded a cut of the billions it says people close to Trump made by manipulating financial markets tied to the Iran war. Iran calculated the profits from that alleged manipulation across oil futures, energy stocks, and prediction markets had reached $9 billion and put its demand in writing to mediators. Really? How about we demand some of that money? Come on. For the people, right? Do it for the people. On Upscrolled, from Libra 8 News on Upscrolled, people in Pamplona, Spain held up a giant banner with the phrase, "Destroy Israel" on it. Look at that. They don't like Israel over in Spain, guys. That's why Trump doesn't want to trade with Spain anymore. That's right. And he's trying to save face. Look at Trump trying to save
Breaking
face.
news. There's a plan now. Trump apparently... Breaking news. There's a plan now Trump apparently is putting in place to replace federal income tax with tariffs and restore America's pre-1913 prosperity. The IRS is done and the American people finally win. My question is this, though. Is this actually going to happen?
No.
And all of a sudden you
Never.
don't have federal income tax? If
No.
so, holy jeepers, that would be freaking amazing. But why would they let that happen when you know that they want to have the permanent underclass and then the top 1%, like the middle class, being erased? You may be thinking, well, it's because Trump's coming to save the day. But last I checked, you should know them by their fruits. And so far,
Yeah,
what's
he
the
doesn't
fruit,
care
man?
about you.
Now, I think by now we know that it is abundantly clear something strange is going on with in the whole world, but the food, air, and water supply. I'm talking chemicals, contaminants, microplastics, fluoride, all these crazy...
All right, this is where he gets into his ad, so we're not going to go into that, okay? But it's not good to eat poison, guys. That's pretty much what he's saying. All right, let's get into the Israel merger with the United States military section.
The idea is to take away aid one-sided. The idea is to take away aid, one-sided aid, and move it into, bilateral investments for common benefit.
It certainly brings up some issues of sovereignty, but we'll have to work that out later.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, there's just a little issue with our nation's sovereignty, but we'll work that out later.
Yeah, we're going to work that out later. Just don't worry. Let's let the law be
No
passed.
biggie. A refresher on Section 219, the U.S.-Israeli military merger would, quote, connect the U.S. and Israeli militaries in unprecedented ways and make it exceedingly difficult for any future president to unwind this partnership with a foreign government, no matter what public opinion says. This is how captured our institutions are by the Israelis, that they'll just say, here you go, Israel, have your cake and eat it too. Among other things, the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative would require the U.S. to share intelligence with Israel and establish a system of weapons research, development, and production, particularly in the domains crucial to warfare in the modern age: artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and various other fields of high defense technology. Yeah, remember when Israel blew up a bunch of pagers in Lebanon? Yeah, they can do this to us if we ever step out of line. This is Joe Kent, the former director of the National Counterterrorism Center, and he says, quote, merging our military with a foreign country is treasonous betrayal of our sovereignty. Call your senators and tell them to vote no on the NDAA until the merger with Israel, Section 219, is taken out. Tell them we will never, ever support merging our military with a foreign nation. The Senate switchboard number is 202-224-3121. Write that down, guys. 202-224-3121. Tell them that if they vote yes on the 2027 NDAA as is with Section 219 intact, not only will we vote them out of office, they will not be dining in our restaurants, we will refuse them service. If you own a car wash, locksmith, whatever, you have the right, we all have the right to refuse service to anyone. We've seen that sign. Bar protected classes like race, religion, sexuality, etc. But you know what's not a protected class? Traitors.
The idea is
So we got some phone calls to make. The number is 202-224-3121. That's 202-224-3121. And that was 5149 James Lee for anybody that doesn't recognize the guy. All right. So call your senators, congressmen. I think it was a Senate switchboard or something like that. But I'm going to make a phone call, because we cannot have this merger go through. But America scored a major victory. USA First Real over on Instagram. The U.S. Senate just voted 50-46 to block Netanyahu's attempted coup plan to merge with the U.S. military. So far, they blocked it over in the Senate. But I don't know. I never would be grateful to the Democrats, but they're actually doing good work right now. They're actually doing God's work. Weird, right? These demonic folks are doing the work of good. All right. From Shadow of Ezra, Benji Netanyahu admits the plan to merge the Pentagon and Israeli military will be forced upon us. Check it out.
Well, Prime Minister, will that drawing down of foreign aid from the United States to Israel be compensated by the proposal to have a merging of some sort between our Pentagon and your military?
Yeah, I'm calling it from aid to partnership. So we take away the money that is given to Israel, which is one part, but the other part is we co-invest in equal measures in the new technologies that are needed to give our military and your military the advantage. So there are some unbelievable projects. So we invest jointly and take the fruits equally. You move from aid to partnership, and I think that represents what Israel is. And remember, the other thing is that we share with America.
We don't want a fucking partner.
Unbelievable intelligence to save American life. General Keegan has said that when he was working in American intelligence, what Israel was giving the United States was worth, he said, 5 CIAs. Now, I'm not trying to be mathematically exact, but Israel's contributions to America's defense are important. Our technology is incredible. And since yours is incredible too, and you're the great champion of liberty and free markets, I think the meshing of our two great countries of talent would strengthen America's position, competitive position, both in the economic marketplace and in the military battlefield in many important ways. So that's the idea. The idea is to take away aid, one-sided aid, and move it into bilateral investments for common benefit.
It certainly.
Yeah, and forced upon us, right? Or slipped in through the back door of some freaking bill that gets passed every year, no matter what. I don't know, guys. It's not looking good for us. Not looking good. I have a very strong feeling that all this merging stuff is going to happen, and we're pretty screwed. Check this out. This is from Cool Kids 13 over on Instagram. Something on smart dust. All right, this is a new way to identify us. Check this out.
If Wells Fargo goes through with this, we are cooked. This is like the most dystopian thing I have ever heard. They have a patent called Stardust. Stardust is a technology that deploys sensory particles in the air all around you.
It's smart dust for those not watching this on YouTube. She made a correction in her reel.
That you can't see, but it will collect your biometrics. So it will record your heart rate, your temperature, audio, facial features, basically taking a picture or more. Then they will send that to a database where they will then verify it. And if you're verified through the database, you can now access your account. You don't have to put in your password or your passcode. How fun. Patent is real. You're looking at it right now. Look at the date on the top. Cars are even going to be rolling this out too. I think in like 2027, where if they detect you drink too much or if you're not alert enough, whatever that means, your car just won't start. Remember, you guys, this stuff can't keep rolling out if we just don't comply.
Yes, so the key is to not comply, right? I don't know how, like, if your bank is using smart dust, I guess you would just not use that bank, but this is the route that this world is going. Identifying us with little tiny dust-sized drones, it sounds like a drone collecting all my data. Get out of here with that. From Grants on Soil over on Instagram, we've got some more bad news, unfortunately, guys. Trump has officially approved the 5th PFAS pesticide for use on food crops during his second term. PFAS is those forever chemicals, which makes me wonder, are we making America healthy again yet? No, we're not. That was just a ruse to get him into office. It's more likely that we are witnessing complete government corruption in real time. Absolutely. Last week, the EPA approved 3 new PFAS pesticides in a single day for use on corn, soybeans, wheat, oats, oranges, apples, and almonds. PFAS are called forever chemicals because they never break down in your body or the environment. They're linked to cancer, thyroid tumors, reproductive toxicity, and birth defects. This came days after the Supreme Court ruled 7-2 that you could no longer sue pesticide companies for cancer. Isn't that convenient, right? Now they have immunity, so now just why not okay some more fucking poison for us? First they took away your right to sue, then they approved 5 more forever chemicals for your food. And none of this is surprising when you look at who is making these decisions. A decade ago, a Monsanto vice president became deputy commissioner of foods at the FDA, spending years overseeing the very agency responsible for regulating the company he had just worked for, and nobody stopped it. And these patterns never left. Today, the EPA's deputy administrator overseeing pesticide approvals is Kyle Conkler, a former lobbyist for American Soybean Association, one of the groups publicly pushing for the exact chemicals just approved. One thing is clear, our government is not working for the health of Americans. No, they are not working for us whatsoever. They're working, well, Israel's got free health care, so we know who are they working for. All right, next up, we got more betrayal, more bad news. Trump signs order cutting 2 Utah national monuments by 90%. Will open land to mining and energy development. Come on! Governor of Utah praises the move, and critics say decision will destroy sacred tribal land. From Real News, no bullshit, President Trump has signed an executive order cutting down the size of 2 national monuments in Utah by 90%, which will make nearly 3 million acres of previously protected land available for mining and energy development. Some shit you should know before you dig in. Back in 1996, President Clinton designated Grand Staircase Escalante as a national monument. And 2 decades later, President Obama did the same for Bears Ears after 5 tribes petitioned to protect the land they hold sacred. Both monuments sit on southern Utah's famous Red Rock landscape and contains ancient cliff homes, petroglyphs, and burial sites, along with deposits of coal, yep, the good stuff, uranium, oil, and gas. Trump shrank both monuments during his first term in 2017, but President Biden restored them in 2021 before courts could rule on lawsuits challenging the move. Utah officials have fought the designations for decades, arguing the protections block mining and hurt the state's economy. What's going on now? Under Trump's new executive order, the Grand Staircase Escalante drops from roughly 1.87 million acres to about 181,500, while Bears Ears shrinks from around 1.36 million acres to about 121,100. The cuts go deeper than Trump's first-term reductions, and the land removed from the monuments will now be open to mineral and geothermal leasing. Yay! While signing the order at the White House, Trump said they took the land from the people, quite honestly, and we're giving it back. Yeah? You're giving it back? How are you giving it back? You're drilling it. President Trump's Bear Ears order also disbands the Bear Ears Commission, a body of representatives from 5 tribes that helped guide management of the monument. Tribal leaders and conservation groups blasted the move. Davina Smith Agesta, co-chair of the Bears Ears Intertribal Coalition, called the decision heartbreaking and said tribes were never consulted. Yeah, he's giving it back to the people, though. Utah Governor Spencer Cox celebrated it as a big day for Utah and alluded that the move would create thousands of good-paying jobs. This all comes as Trump has declared a national energy emergency because of your stupid war and moved aggressively to expand drilling, mining, and logging on federal lands, including lifting commercial fishing bans in marine monuments. That's nuts. That is just wild, man. It's like he's doing everything the opposite. I'm not shocked. That's the funny thing, is it's just crazy. But I knew he was going to fuck us over. I knew it. I voted. I did it. I'm not going to lie. I was foolish enough to do it. I pressed that stupid button. But he's really screwing us over good. All right, more that's not really screwing us over. Get into some stuff on Elon Musk. He's making bank. The newest trillionaire? Well, isn't he like the only trillionaire? I don't know. But Earth just became too expensive for AI, so Musk sold the exit. Hold on, let's go to the slides. Anthropic, the company Musk publicly attacked months earlier, now pays SpaceX $1.25 billion a month for computing power. Google's looking to pay them $920 million a month. Anthropic's contract alone, $15 billion a year, is nearly SpaceX's entire 2025 revenue. Craziness. Renting one data center in Memphis. The AI race just got a landlord. Whoever's model wins, Claude, Gemini, Grok, Musk collects rent. Losers will be AWS and Azure labs, quietly bypassed by labs leasing from each other. Yeah. Well, why pay for rent if you couldn't get it in space, right? From Elon. The fine print, either side can exit with 90 days notice, and SpaceX's AI unit lost $6.4 billion in 2025. This is rent, not loyalty. SpaceX's own IPO filing says AI compute satellites start deploying as early as 2025. Google is already in orbital data center talks. Watch for a deal in like 6 months. Compute is the new oil, and Elon Musk just made himself OPEC. Yeah, so they don't have to consume our water. They wouldn't have to heat up our world. They would put it all in outer space, kind of what China's doing in the sea, and then you just pay Musk rent. That would be the right thing to do, the smart thing to do, probably. But what do you think they're going to do? Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's just going to get crazy. I've got more craziness. Something on CERN, all right? Apparently, CERN has been stabilized. And when they found the Higgs boson, that was, or the God, isn't it? Yeah, the God particle, they call it. When they found that, apparently we collapsed the timeline, and that's why we go through the Mandela effect. I'm going to let Abundance 10,000 here explain it to you, all right? Sorry for the little skip.
Break the Large Hadron Collider. They stabilized it. And what CERN just didn't break the Large Hadron Collider. They stabilized it. And what CERN just achieved means that humanity has exactly 4 years to evolve, or we will be completely, somewhat obsolete. Let me show you the math. Right now, CERN is pushing 7 tera-electron volts per beam. To make this simple, a TeV, or tera-electrovolt, is the energy of a flying mosquito, but it's compressed into a space 1 trillion times smaller than a grain of sand. Right now, they're actually intentionally climbing toward a 14 TeV design. In the 14th framework, the exact atomic number of silicon is bridging us out of the carbon-6 structure. In 2016, physics prodigy Max Laughlin pointed out that when CERN discovered the God particle, the energy density was so massive it likely collapsed our original timeline. We shifted into an adjacent parallel dimension, and that's the true origin of the Mandela effect. Basically, it's the quantum artifact of timelines bleeding together. Project Looking Glass already proved this when military intelligence hit a wall in the year 2012, and this is when timelines started to converge.
So when they tried to use Project Looking Glass, they couldn't get past 2012, apparently because we collapsed the timeline.
So what's happening right now with this pause? CERN just confirmed back in March that they stabilized a beam. The chaos in the collider is over and the macro and micro are finally merging. We are now compacting information and energy into a single proton, and we are accelerating the switching signal faster than the speed of light. This creates zero latency across time, energy, and space. When you have zero latency, you process infinite output without extracting physical resources. We are gaining the ability to move in and out of alternative dimensions based
To move in and out of alternative dimensions, gaining the ability. Why? Why do we want to go to other dimensions, mister?
purely on our own resonance. What happens is we will create and destroy them instantaneously without harming life. Now this comes with a terrifying responsibility. When your processing speed hits zero latency, your thoughts manifest into reality immediately. If you hold on to fear, you will literally create your own demise just as fast. So CERN's giving us a 4-year window before they bring this back online and things really start to change. And through this, we are becoming the creator of the tools we observe. We must surrender the old human blueprint and step into our true design, which is ye are gods. You have 4 years to figure it out. Let's get to work. Thank you.
Did he say we are gods? I don't know what, but that's what the caption said. I'm not subscribed to that fact. I know who my God is, and it is not a we, but this is probably some of that new age bullshit that like you are, and they're twisting Jesus' words and making it as if you are the God, because God is inside you, and God is in you as you are in God. But that's not, doesn't mean you are a God or any form of a God. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys know what I'm trying to put down here. I'm going to move along, okay? From the Remnant Rising over on Instagram, Eider, the way, the road to 2039. America just lowered the final 110-ton coil into a 1,000-ton magnet as tall as a 5-story building, threading it into a gap with 2 inches of clearance on one side. And its builder says the finished stack packs enough force to lift an aircraft carrier 6 feet out of the water. What do we need a magnet that powerful for? Isn't our pole supposed to like shift or something like that? Naturally, we're supposed to get it. Now we're creating super strong magnets. We're fucking around with the wrong shit here. I'm just saying. They're not even hiding it anymore. 35 nations have united in southern France to build what engineers are literally calling the beating heart of a machine designed to mimic the sun. Oh, that's good. Let's make a fucking sun. Are you kidding me? They just lowered a 1,000-ton, 5-story tall pillar into place with microscopic precision. Its purpose is to ignite a cloud of artificial fire reaching 150 million degrees Celsius. Down here? Are you fucking nuts? 10 times hotter than the sun. Let's make it hotter than the sun. That's right. And bring a raw godlike power down to earth under human control. Come on, people. Eider is the epitome of the modern day Tower of Babel. Absolutely. This is going to kill us. These nerds are going to kill us, as Isaac Weishaupt says. The colossal magnet creates a field 280,000 times stronger than the Earth's natural magnetic field. What? Global warming? Not exactly. Even more suspicious is how it's funded. Yeah, it's funded like Antarctica. This is some serious shit. Nations aren't trading cash, they're trading hardware and sovereignty, linking themselves into a web of interdependent worldwide governance where everyone is forced to rely on a single centralized technological hub. And we all know where that's going to be, folks. Yes, oh yeah, they're fighting over there now. Scripture warns that the end times will be marked by humanity trying to seize divine authority and centralizing worldwide resources. By building an imitation sun and forcing the world's superpower nations to bow to one system, this alliance is laying the exact infrastructure needed for a single world leader. Absolutely. With their new timeline conveniently stretching toward 2039, the stage is being set for the ultimate prophetic countdown. Keep an eye on this, guys. ITER, the artificial sun. We have got to keep an eye on that. And no pun intended, but we got to keep an eye on these flocking cameras too, because they got to get the flock out of here. And I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I am against vandalism. I am against pole climbing, cutting things down, doing naughty shit. There's none of that. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just saying that some people out there are doing things and they're getting in a lot of trouble. They're getting in a lot of trouble. From Jason Bassler and the Solari Report with Catherine Austin Fitz. 18 years in prison somebody got for destroying 3 flock cameras and replacing them with American civil peace flags. 18 years in prison. Whoever this was could not, they had no idea that a jury, this had to be like, this is unreal. This is absolutely unreal. There's a report. Let me see. What is this?
Odd case in Rio Rancho where license plate reader cameras were destroyed, then replaced with a flag. Police say the man behind the crime cost the city thousands in damages. News 13's Bianca Hoops has that video.
A series of vandalized cameras have Rio Rancho police questioning who did it.
So that's our ALPRs were, the license plate reader. Someone stole the reader and replaced it with this flag. We had the same thing happen yesterday off of Metalwork. When did they do that? I have no idea.
In May, Rio Rancho police found at least 3 flock cameras, also known as license plate readers, destroyed. The solar panels attached to them were stolen, then a flag was hung on top of the camera poles.
Is there a reason why they're doing this? You guys have an idea? I think it's somebody doesn't like license plate readers.
Within days of the investigation, police pull over a truck that matched the description of the car tied to the flock camera incidents. In the car, they find multiple flags that were similar to the ones in the vandalized cases. The driver, 44-year-old Jovan Martinez, was arrested for an unrelated warrant and has since then been released. Police say Martinez admitted to the vandalism when they asked about the flags, and he even took videos on his phone every time.
Oh, look at my work, gentlemen. So all these cameras popping around, the flock cameras, they are not ours. Look at that.
Then, within a week, Rio Rancho police got a warrant to look out for some of the missing equipment at Martinez's home, even bringing in a SWAT team because of his criminal history, including assault.
Pretty stupid to document your crimes, guy.
3 solar panels and 1 flock camera.
Like I said, I threw them in the trash, I put them on the side.
Because we tracked 1 here in this area.
Police say Martinez caused more than $20,000 worth of damages.
Wow. And the reason this happened, John Barnes, is because of the history that you have before.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to this. You have no idea.
18 years. 18 years for taking down cameras. Catherine Austin Fitz says, no one goes to prison for $21 trillion missing from the U.S. government. Nope, no one got in trouble. Or for the financial fraud that triggered $29 trillion of bailouts. Nope, no trouble there. Or the fraudulent inducement of $1.6 trillion of student loans. Or the mass atrocity of killing and disabling millions from the bleep bloops. Or narcotics trafficking by the U.S. government or related parties. But 3 flock cameras, now that's something that inspires serious enforcement. 3 flock cameras are more important than the entire U.S. Treasury. Wow. And they're taking this very seriously. This flock guy, I think he's trying to get people that are taking the cameras down labeled terrorists. It's like, we're cooked. From Jason Bassler, flock cams have been found at bike paths, nature trails, public parks, wilderness areas, community pools. What are you reading a license plate at a pool for? Reproductive clinics, schools and preschools, entrance to state parks, gyms and recreation centers, children's gymnastics room. It's not plate tracking, people. It's people tracking. Unbelievable. Unreal. What's this right here? Invisible exhaust you're leaving everywhere. Oh, this is all of the surveillance and the systems. We'll look into this another time. All right? Save that for later. All right, next up from Eddie Gonzalez, Moscow photographer. He posted, apparently some cops showed up at a woman's house trying to use a flock camera as proof that she stole something. Check out this
We
clip.
have cameras everywhere in that town. You can't get a breath of fresh air in or out without us knowing.
Chrisana Elzer learned the power of flock firsthand.
You were in town from 11:52 until 12:09. Exactly. Like I said, nothing gets in or out of the town without us knowing.
Nothing gets in and out of the town without us knowing. For people not watching this on YouTube, first of all, I highly recommend the YouTube channel. Subscribe and like. Yeah. And this cop, like, listen to this
A
dude.
Colorado police officer showed up at her door holding flock snapshots of her truck.
And
he's telling her, you can't do anything in this town without us seeing it.
here's when you left at 12:09. That's when you left town.
To get?
No, to stop at Ridge Trail.
Wait a minute.
And take a package. Well, there's no shushing. I don't need to be.
I need to know where this is.
The first thing he pulled out on the body cam is that flock picture, the clear photograph of your car.
But here's your vehicle in the neighborhood many, many times, apparently casing houses, because you just can't drive through for work or visit other businesses. You can only be casing houses.
It is her. It is 100%. It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%. It is certain. It is on video. You're obviously welcome to go to court.
Chrisana was charged with stealing a package, but it wasn't her. The porch pirate was somebody else.
Porch pirate.
Multiple times you tried to show him your video evidence. He didn't want to see it.
Even when I called him back, he said, that's not my job.
You looked at a time of a crime. You saw my vehicle entering in the flock.
No, what I did was I did an investigation.
You called my wife a liar. You said this is fact.
I have video evidence. I don't know what you want me to say.
The charges were dropped after Chrisana spent weeks trying to get the police chief to look at her evidence. Time-stamped video from her truck and a neighbor's doorbell camera showing she wasn't at the scene of the crime. What does it say about where we are that you feel you have to have more cameras than the police have in order to make sure you can prove yourself innocent?
It sounds like it flipped the script to you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
And that's where we are, folks. You are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. There's no more of this.
Without a flock camera, that detective would not have been at her door. By his own admission, he pulled out the flock picture of her car. Do you want to apologize to Chrisana Elzer for what happened to her?
For the police misusing the tools? I don't think that I have to apologize for him.
He wasn't charged with a crime. He wasn't, other than being reprimanded for his attitude.
Sure. No, but I would tell you that, like, should I apologize for somebody misusing a tool? I don't think so.
Flock Safety Chief Communications Officer Josh Thomas. Who's watching the watchers in these cases?
Well, the city council. The city owns the data, so city council would have the appropriate responsibility in that case. Our point of view has always been that it is not Flock's job to police the way police do their work.
So no longer innocent until proven guilty, folks. Now it's guilty until proven innocent. It's pretty much been like that anyway, but, on paper, it depends on who you are. But this is like, this Flock nonsense is getting crazy. Listen to this dude. This dude tried to fire up his street bike, and the Flock cameras dispatched local law enforcement to his house. He starts off his bike and it backfires.
I warned you about. Check this out. This guy's in his driveway, revving his engine on his motorcycle. It backfires a couple times. Not even a minute and 37 seconds later, the cop shows up saying that the Flock cameras had triangulated his position, led him straight to him, saying he was firing a subautomatic machine gun. This shit's crazy.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So we have, how it works is that we've got sensors all in the area. So what it did, so it pinpointed, it used triangulation, right? So it heard it and literally
acted like there was gunshots. Craziness. Here's the CEO of Flock Safety labeling everyone opposed to flock cameras, nonstop surveillance as terrorist organizations. See what they're doing here?
you've got organizations like the ACLU and the EFF who take an above-board approach to fight for their point of view. And thankfully, we live in a beautifully democratic, capitalistic country where we can fight in court. And I have a lot of respect for those groups because they have reasonable debates and we follow the law. And then unfortunately, there's terroristic organizations like DFLOC, whose primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else. And that, I think, is unfortunate because we don't want chaos, or I don't want chaos. I like law and order. I like a society that has a bedrock of safety. So for those groups, I think it's just disappointing that they haven't chosen a more constructive mannerism to try to get what they want, which they have a right to have, but that's why we have a democratically elected process, right? Like we're not forcing flock on anyone. Elected officials know that as a community, you want to be safe. You've got organizations.
Yeah, we're not forcing flock on it. No, they're just putting it everywhere. There is no voting going on. They're not asking us if we want flock cameras. Listen to everybody. Listen to what everybody's saying. And when they open their mouth, they're fucking terrorists. I don't want to hear it. Too much. Too much. What is this? I don't know what this is. Oh. Why nuclear fusion signals the beginning of the end. This is more on that ITER, I think. We're witnessing history. Jeff Bezos. One day, ITER, General Fusion, and all of those will follow. Many soon will. Will be written as true catalysts for the coming Antichrist system, aka the New World Order. Jeff Bezos has a fusion startup to become the first to go public. General Fusion, steampunk approach to technology is under scrutiny ahead of NASDAQ debut. Pretty interesting, huh? All of them trying to create these artificial suns. In this tense worldwide race for nuclear fusion, multiple artificial suns are being built simultaneously. Reminds me of the Matrix, where those in charge scorch the sky to cut off the power and stop the machines. Except in this reality, the technocrats are building their own suns because we are the machines to be controlled. Absolutely. Well, some good news from the Hodge twins. The Los Angeles Police Department is letting its contract with flock cameras expire and will not renew it. Officials cited civil liberties and civil rights concerns after it was confirmed that these cameras have been collecting data on everyday Americans. Flock systems are known for widespread license plate tracking and data storage. Even in deep blue Los Angeles, the department is walking away from this level of constant surveillance. The move highlights growing pushback against government overreach and the collection of personal data on U.S. citizens. So there is some cities that are pushing back, and that's good news. From Next News Network, police can search 30 days of your driving history through Flock's camera network. Every church visit, gun range stop, school pickup, political meeting, all logged and searchable. This is definitely mass surveillance. And we got here. Oh, no, that's next minutes long. We're not watching that. And we are not watching. Okay, more on Flock cameras. This Flock camera captured a woman driving with her phone on her lap, face down, and the state mailed her a ticket. Gotta have to fight these things, guys.
Breaking news, more flock situations happening. A flock camera captured a woman. Breaking news, more flock situations happening. A flock camera captured a woman driving with her phone on her lap, and her phone was face down. And both of her hands were on the steering wheel. And she got a $1,251 ticket. $1,251? Now, I screenshotted this, but if you look behind her, there's one of her arms. Her other arm is on the wheel, and her phone is face down. Now, I thought there was a thing that, like, you had to be, I remember when they first started putting these cameras up, it was like, you can't prove who was driving, and so the tickets don't fly. If you get one in the mail, it's not really, can't be fully pinned on you. But that all goes out the window if in 2027 all the new cars have facial recognition and there's cameras everywhere. It's just a shocking thought, man. And I really do wonder and hope that this is about safety and security, because it feels like it's something else. Now, I don't have...
Yeah, it's definitely something else. That's Shane Vibes Truth over on Instagram. I forgot him earlier. But this flock shit is getting out of hand, man. It's getting out of hand. What is Denzel Washington doing? He's talking about dealing with powers superior to us. What is he talking about? I don't know. Just happened upon this thing. Let's see what Denzel has to say.
Sending us a message, you know. God is sending us a message, you know, and it's a fascinating 1-2 punch we've had so far. The Lord knows where we're headed, and only God knows where we're headed. So we're being forced to deal with powers higher than ourselves, whether we like it or not. We better open our eyes and look at the reality of what's going on. This Amen. It's not a joke. God is sending us a message.
So he's a little bit onto something. He's onto the battle of good and evil, without a doubt. All right, I had to play this for you guys. This is from Above Expectations brand over on Instagram. Little poetry going on over here, and I liked it. It landed well with me. So check it out.
I'm saturated with melanin, and you're. I'm not black. I'm saturated with melanin, and you're not white. Don't buy into that garbage they sell again. We're not in a race. We're in a program. You could tell by the interface. The whole plan was to bury Bacon's rebellion along with other secrets. There's actually no gatekeeping us separate. We just been playing defense. Don't you get it? You're mad a quarter of your paycheck goes to paying taxes, but the fact is the people that got you penny pinching aren't copper-toned. I'm not trying to nickel and dime you. I'm not part of the system that's fickle and fine you. I'm mad too, and I'm glad you are finally starting to wake up. Because while you pray before you sleep, they prey on us like sheep. I heard AI will be the great equalizer, but really they'll be notified when the people rise up. The only place I want to spill the tea is in the Boston Bay. The cost to pay for not waking up is your freedom, so don't get distracted. Peace. Love you.
Hope you guys like that. Well done, sir. Well done. All right. This is some more nonsense from Wall Street Apes. This is about the new systems that they have in the cars. The camera system that monitors you driving. Let's check out. This lady went to rent a car from Audi, I think. And
you ready to see the most dystopian, fucked thing that I've seen in a long time? Well, check out my loaner car from Audi, okay? So, beautiful. Beautiful Q7. See that? I have this car for a couple days because my Audi has a coolant issue and is under warranty. So I got this loaner while my car's in the shop, and I just wanted to show you. It sent me with a personal assistant. I don't know if this is a new thing at all dealerships or if this is just an Audi thing, but in the car, let me just show you. Ready? We're gonna meet my new best friend. Meet the Eye of Sauron.
look at that thing.
Yes, that is a camera. That camera records everything I do, everything I say, every movement I make. If I want to pick my nose, no, you can't. Somebody's watching. If I wanted to eat something, no, somebody's watching. Oh, and then listening. How is this legal? How is it legal that a dash cam can voice record everything that you're talking about, private information? I work in medicine and I speak to patients on the phone about private health information every day. And now I can't do that in this car because Audi is recording it and listening and videotaping. And on top of that, it's also your driving best friend. So if you're speeding, it knows and it tells you. Speeding, speeding. If you are not wearing your seatbelt properly, it tells you. Seatbelt, seatbelt. It's watching, it's capturing, it's recording. I don't know how this is legal, but I wish I had known about this feature before I agreed to take this loaner car, because I would have 100% paid $700 for a rental car instead of this. I can't tell you how uncomfortable I feel in this car. Can't even enjoy the beautiful brand new Q7 that I get to cruise around in because I have the Eye of Sauron watching.
Yeah, and that thing was not small. Definitely not small. Like probably on your windshield, like the size of 2 iPhones, stacked next to each other. Pretty obstructive, if you ask me. They're worried about shit hanging from your windshield. All right. Well, last but definitely not least, an Iranian regime account is now claiming Iran assassinated Senator Lindsey. I don't know about it. Think Iran did it?
Example, stealing their Ukrainian guns and murdering 6.
All right, last but definitely not least, I didn't really have anything, so I just started scrolling, and the second thing I grabbed this, and I figured you guys would like this. It's a wonderful way to close out the show, something biblical and everything, somebody learning something new about the Bible, and maybe you don't know how these two verses relate with each other, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you guys on the other side.
So in Exodus, God told Moses to tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And Pharaoh was like, no, I don't want to. Long story short, after God sent down like 9 plagues down on Pharaoh and his people, Pharaoh was still like, no, stop bothering me. I'm not letting your people go. God tells Moses to tell the Israelites, I'm sending this last plague, and it's this angel of death that's going to enter into everyone's house to kill all of the firstborns. And then Moses tells all the Israelites. And then now they're panicking and they're like, oh my gosh, wait, we don't want our firstborns to die. God tells them, if you follow these specific instructions I'm about to give, the angel of death will pass over your houses. And when I tell you I was not ready for this, okay, let me show you. In Exodus 12, God tells them to find a lamb that is perfect and without blemish. 6 days before the Passover, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right here, the sheep's feet and ankles are anointed with anointing oil. And then 2 days before Passover, the lamb's head is anointed with oil. The anointing of the head symbolizes the announcement that this lamb is blemish free. Now let's go to the New Testament. In John 12, it says, 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany where Lazarus lived. Then Mary took about a pint of pure nard, expensive perfume, and poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with his hair. Jesus' feet anointed 6 days before Passover. Remember? And in Matthew 26, it says Jesus is anointed. This woman came in with an alabaster jar full of expensive perfume. She poured the perfume on his head, and this is 2 days before the crucifixion, because look, the Last Supper is the day after. Look, you guys, 2 days before. Jesus' head anointed 2 days before. Back to the Old Testament, once it's been established that the lamb is free of blemish, they are to kill the lamb, and then they are to take a bunch of hyssop, dip it into the blood in the basin, and put some of the blood on the top and both sides of the door frame. Here's my attempt at a hyssop plant. Dip it in the blood of the lamb, and then they are to smear it on the door frame, and then the angel of death will pass over it and not kill the firstborn. Now, when Jesus was up on the cross, Jesus says, I am thirsty. A jar of wine vinegar was there, so they soaked a sponge in it, put the sponge on a stalk of a hyssop plant, and lifted it to Jesus' lips. Crazy. So they had this hyssop branch, bro. And that hyssop plant touched the blood of the lamb. Therefore, anyone who's covered by the blood of the perfect lamb, Jesus, is saved from eternal death.
The Bible will forever be the most fascinating book on the planet. If you don't know Jesus, it is not too late. Repent of your sins and surrender your life to him. And if you like more content like this, make sure you follow, subscribe for more.
Okay, and that was Care About It over on Instagram. If you guys are interested in a follow, I'm going to go and follow her, but you don't have to do anything. All right, guys, it's about that time. It is time for me to get the hell out of here. But before I go, I want to thank you once again for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the show. Thank you for rating the show. Thank you to everybody, all of our supporters, our Patreon subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm hoping to get more guests in. and the audience is responding well. As you can see, the show is growing. So thank you so much, because you guys are doing this. It's not me. It has nothing to do with me. Absolutely the Lord as well before you guys. So it's the Lord, then you guys, then me. But seriously, thank you to everybody. You guys have a safe, happy, and healthy week. I'm getting out of here. Love y'all. Peace.